I'm Jacob Hornberger, Libertarian candidate for president. The biggest mistake that has ever been committed here in the United States was the conversion of the federal government from a limited government republic to a national security state. Our country started out as a limited government republic. That was the whole idea of the Constitution. The Constitution called into existence a type of government whose powers were limited to the very few powers that were enumerated in the Constitution. The American people approved the deal, but only on the condition that the Bill of Rights be enacted soon after the ratification of the Constitution. And the Bill of Rights really should have been called a Bill of Prohibitions because really it constitutes restrictions, further restrictions, express restrictions on the powers of the federal government. Our American ancestors wanted it that way. They considered the federal government, not the Russians, not the Chinese, not some foreign regime, to be the greatest threat to their freedom and well-being. After World War II, everything changes. The federal government, without even the semblance of a constitutional amendment, is converted from a limited government republic to what is called a national security state form of governmental structure. What is a national security state? Well, to put things in perspective, North Korea is a national security state. China, Russia, Cuba, and post-World War II, the United States. It is a type of governmental structure where the government wields omnipotent powers, not limited powers, omnipotent powers. This is when we get the Pentagon, the vast military-industrial complex, ever-increasing budgets, the CIA, the NSA, and the omnipotent powers of assassination, indefinite detention, torture, mass secret surveillance, including not just on foreigners, but on the American people themselves. There is no way that people can be genuinely considered free under a national security state form of governmental structure. And it's all based on fear and official enemies. They've got to keep people afraid. And so they gin up crises, they gin up official enemies, all designed to keep people afraid. This is what the Cold War was about. When President Harry Truman brought into existence the national security state, he was told, you really got to scare the hell out of the American people. With the Reds are coming, the communists are coming, in order to justify the existence of this massive conversion that fundamentally altered American life. And then when you combine it with this foreign policy of interventionism, it has proven to be an absolute disaster with respects to the rights and liberties and the prosperity of the American people, not to mention the massive death and destruction that has been wreaked on people in overseas lands. If we're going to get this country back on the right road, we need to do some soul searching, some serious soul searching. And we begin with going back to the sound founding principles of our country. We know that there were some bad founding principles like slavery, but there were some good ones. And one of the good ones was a limited government republic. If we're going to get this country back on the right road to peace, prosperity, and liberty and harmony, we need to dismantle this national security establishment. And we need to restore a limited government republic, along with just a basic military force that's able to marshal the American people in the unlikely event there is ever an invasion of our land, but with the sole purpose of defending our country from an invasion by a foreign regime, rather than engaging in this massive foreign interventionism that has been proven so destructive to our way of life. I'm Jacob Hornberger, Libertarian Party candidate for president.